Right.
Hey guys, we're packed today.
We
This is all
we didn't have room. We didn't have room on the bottom to tell all the stuff because everything was so important, right?
Yeah.
We're just gonna go.
All right, let me just let's just say hello to some people. Kay is here. Always good to see Kay. Phil, of course. Melinda. All right. Larry. Great. Larry,
good, Larry.
Larry made it. That's wonderful.
He
Tracy's
could be
here.
working.
Fantastic.
He could be working.
Dan, he has been. He has
Actually,
been.
he's got it.
Boards and everything.
He should be on timeout. I mean, because he already finished.
Darren's here. Daniel's here. Wonderful. IB Jeannie is here. Let's see. Lorianne. Wonderful. Wonderful. Stella. Fantastic. William. Donna. All right. April's here. Great. Great.
All right.
We have such a packed. Do you realize our next issue is 47, and then after that is 48, and that wraps up 4 years, 4 full years of publishing month after month after month.
You know, I want. You know what? I'm having it right here. I'll just pull it up. You know, going back to this, we talked about this. I just happen to have it on my desk, but it's interesting because on there, let's see where it says this. Yeah, XRP. It talks about XRP. This was a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it's incredible how all these things that we talk about just come full circle.
I know. Let me just say this to Irma. Irma, Matt will be back on in about 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, he's on a rotation, and we appreciate you.
We have our favorite people on rotations, and you know, the ones that can come on, and that's and for those that don't know, we're expanding that. So
and really quick, if I could say this because I just posted it, and I'm not showing the video here, but Doné Clement will be in here next week.
Yeah.
On the Wednesday, I just talked to her not long ago, and I'm telling you, it was shocking to hear her dad say, you know, he didn't say XRP, he said X and a P and something in between. It was shocking because he even said in it, like, you know, I'm not saying to invest in, or you should look into investing in. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway.
Right. And the reason that we're harping on all of these things with XRP is because XRP, especially, once that Clarity Act passes, it's baked into the current financial system,
right?
Which is and it needs the institutional clarity and legitimacy. Not that it's not legitimate now, it is, but once there's a government framework in place, everything changes.
Right, and also some of the protections. And by the way, when we talk about the Clarity Act, keep in mind that what we're talking about is currently what is shaped to be. Because as it makes its way through the House and the Senate, they say, I don't like this. We got to take this part out. So it changes. And that's why we have been telling people, if you're getting the crypto playbook, get the update so you understand the changes that we have been following here.
Right. All right, Gene, why don't we just
dive get going.
All right, because there's a lot of them and they're deep.
Okay, here we go. All right, Dave Blaze hitting it right off the bat here. The first lead story. Oh my goodness, it was actually the wrong one. Oh my goodness.
That's the devotion.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway, the one that I wanted to get is the one where it talked about the quantum financial system, not the
hold on a second. Phil, XRP, and we're going to talk about this. XRP will not initially replace SWIFT. It'll be baked into SWIFT, and then the current system is going to fade out.
Dave, because I work with wires and all this stuff, could you explain in a nutshell what SWIFT is so people that are following along will understand?
Yeah, it's the settlements. It's how everything gets the transactions settled. For example, if you send money to somebody else, you wire somebody or you make a payment or whatever it is, first the money goes through a settlement house for verification, and of course they take their little cut, and then it goes to the recipient, and that whole operation is part of SWIFT. So by baking an XRP, it becomes instant.
And when we talk about this is the current banking system that does that. When you
right.
Okay.
There's not going to be, okay, for those that think there's going to be a new banking system and this whole thing is going away, no, that's not happening. There are reforms coming, of course, and there have to be, because of the way things are changing, but they're changing for the better. And what's coming down the pipe is a whole lot better than anything from that QFS nonsense that's been floating around, because what we're talking about is real. You can go look it up. You can search for it on whatever entity you want. It doesn't matter, because even the legacy news media has to report the truthfulness of these changes. They might slant it, but it's still, the facts are there.
Right. And so basically, as a reminder, because there's so much information out there that people are twisting into like half truth, the system that we have with central banks is not going away, because this, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Now, Richie says, I have enough trouble with the current banks. He says, Richie, you got to stop trying to buy cars with cash. How many times do we have to tell you that? If you weren't doing that, you'd have no problems. You got to let the dealership make their, 2.5 points on the loan behind the scenes. Go ahead.
All right, good to see. Oh, okay, so in other words, the system that we have right now with central banks and the Federal Reserve and the dollar and all this stuff is not going away, but is getting enhanced, because if this crypto or Clarity Act gets pushed in there, then it just strengthens the current system. Is that a good way of saying it?
Yeah, yeah. And that's why the new Fed chair is in there, and he's going to bring in a bunch of reforms, and he's working with Treasury Secretary Bessent on it. And the old guard, the former Fed chair, that's why he's staying on as a board member, to be a pain in the ass.
Okay,
he's the guy that's going to be in there going on, I don't think we should be doing it this way, and just trying to cause as much trouble for Wash as possible.
Okay, I'm trying my best to explain this very simply, but the Federal Reserve is the United States central bank. We want, even though some people that say, oh, it's not really part of the United States, we want it as independent as possible. So even powerful, when I say that, powerful presidents like Donald Trump can't bully, so to speak, them to do whatever, because it's the governorships are 14 years, I believe, here, that span different.
That's right. That's right. And the governors are appointed, and the chairman is appointed by the executive branch. The bottom line is that having an independent central bank gives confidence to people that are going to buy our debt and our dollars. If the other nations thought that we were like all these other Yahoo countries, and with every new administration that comes in, everything changes.
Right. And so we've talked about this before, the movement to spread it out there in social media is that the Federal Reserve has to be done away with, because somehow it's evil. It's only a few bankers getting rich. They print money out of nowhere. However, this tool that we have, the Federal Reserve, by the way, it's Donald Trump's preferred method of banking.
Right.
It is.
Now, Kay Miller asked a very good question. So who's fighting the Clarity Act and why? Okay, so the lobbyists for the big banks are fighting the Clarity Act, and they're trying to make this change and that change and just stall and stall and stall until kind of time runs out. They're doing that because with the Clarity Act, they will not be able to make as much of a, they won't be able to make as much of a cut as they are now. Because in switching to XRP, which would mean tremendously faster, they would have to pretty much redo and spend resources reforming the way they do business. And they also think that if platforms like Coinbase were to pay interest on your cryptocurrencies that you have, let's say, stored on their platform, and let's say they're paying you interest. So let's say you have Bitcoin and you have $10,000 in Bitcoin sitting in one of these platforms, crypto platforms like Coinbase. Coinbase is going to pay you interest on it. The banks are feeling that would lead to mass runs on the banks to move money over to the crypto platforms, which is ridiculous. Nobody's going to do that. So this is where we're at.
Kay, I just want to say, I think what a wonderful comment that is. One of the things that you have to understand in everything that happens, there's usually like a winning side and a losing side. In this case, if the Clarity Act comes in, that's why J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon's so pissed off.
Yeah, Jamie Dimon's very upset.
He's very upset. So they are winners and losers. So what these banks do, they're very powerful. They get their senators and they do lobbying. And while they lobby, they say, listen, we'd love to donate for you, but you're not fighting for us. You're not fighting for you. So they're inserting themselves into American politics.
Right.
But overall, just so you know, Donald Trump with his chairman, which is Tim Scott, the Senate chairman in charge of banking, they want the Clarity Act. And overall, it will be good. And it's definitely good for crypto because it regulates it.
Very much so. Now, one more quick thing. This was, do I have the right comment? Nope, that's not it.
Oh, hey, it's Jeannie.
I know. I'll get to be Jeannie. All right. So, Fife dog.
Okay, right.
All right. Man, I thought we were going back to gold and silver back money. All right. Now, let me just lay this out. Our currency is backed by our gold, by our silver, by our oil, by our precious minerals, by our land, by our people. All of our assets back the US dollar. Why would we ever go back and limit ourselves with just gold?
Right.
Never going to happen.
Let me also explain this, because there's a lot of talk with here in America about, oh, do we have the gold in Fort Knox? Okay. If it was only backed by gold, like $1 equals whatever gold, you realize that other countries, if they started mining like crazy, like that's all they did was mine. Do you realize that there would be some countries in Africa where they have some untapped mines there, that they would now be the most powerful country in the world? Right. Because it's gold backed. They have the gold. You don't have the gold. They have more gold than us. But we do have a lot of gold in America.
We have the most gold of any nation in the world.
Right. But if someone started to mine more, because it's not fixed, you could get, it's not as easy nowadays, you could get more gold. But what if they discovered more gold in one place? Then they would be the world's most powerful country, because they would be the richest then. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with gold. For us, it's very, very, it would be a disaster beyond a disaster, because the amount of services, et cetera, that would have to be eliminated. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. All right, now hold on a second.
Right.
Hold on a second, because we have IB Genie says, so many people are lost in the confusion. Hopefully all the truth will be broadcast soon. We're putting it out there. Frankly, that's why George is here. This is what we're doing. And you know that since we started this, we've been going against the grain of a lot of the misinformation that has been out there. Go ahead, Gene.
It's quite frankly, it's not easy, but I'm going to tell you that this current viewpoint we have is Donald Trump's viewpoint. Donald Trump likes the Federal Reserve the way it is. He wants to strengthen it, but he likes it because that is how he uses as a tool to keep all the other countries in line. Even the countries that hate us, they use the dollar because they don't even they like the other people, but they don't trust their monetary system. They trust the U.S. dollar,
right?
Because it is stable. Okay,
right.
Dave, let's watch this video here. This is Donald Trump talking about the Federal Reserve.
Is a pillar of the world financial system and the most important central bank anywhere in the world, with a history stretching back more than 100 years. It is truly the institution that's most looked to and most respected, and it's now taken on a new and even higher respect, in my opinion. And honestly, I really mean this. This is not said in any other way. I want Kevin to be totally independent. I want him to be independent and just do a great job. Don't look at me. Don't look at anybody. Just do your own thing and do a great job. Okay?
Thank you, IB Jeannie. And, you know, Gene had said something to me earlier, which really stuck. And that is, you know, part of what we do is we're telling Trump's side of things. And people on the posters on X and Rumble, they're not. They're just freewheeling with God knows what. But
right. And guys, we are, you know what, tomorrow, did I do it? No, tomorrow's devotional, guys. I'm just going to say this.
Yeah.
It's basically from the Bible, but it matches. It's Paul, the Apostle Paul saying, what do you guys hate me now? He basically said that. What do you hate me now? Because the Apostle Paul was telling the truth and the people didn't like the truth. You know this. So they started hating him. Right. And I told Dave, I was like, man, this is not, truth, I'm fine with it. This is not what I had in mind. Seriously. To tell the truth and let people know that put all their hopes in this, basically all these dreams that you'll instantly become rich because you invested in like the hot tool.
But now hold on a second. The problem came in with like the quantum financial system and those type of ideas that these people behind that took truth, things that are really happening, and then kind of bent them in a way to give you a greater level of expectation and so forth and so on. That's not going to happen, but the reality that's coming in is going to blow the doors off of everything we have right now.
Guys,
that's the truth in them. As a matter of fact, we have that article in today's dispatch.
Yes.
QFS.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay. It's like this. Okay. I have to tell the truth. So it's like, listen, there's no Santa Claus, but you're still going to get presents and Christmas and everything else. There's just no Santa Claus. And these people are like, they hate you for telling the truth. And
right.
It's what it is. It really is. I mean, all right, Dave. Oh, okay. We talked about this quantum financial system. That was the first thing. I messed up the.
That's okay. That's all right.
But it's likewise with this. It connects with this. Okay?
No, that's still the wrong one.
No, well, I'm talking about the XRP. Oh, it ties in. It ties in.
All right.
Okay.
That's with the Clarity Act.
Right. Right.
And now they're trying to make it all. Now the Democrats, they got the banks cleared up yesterday, right? So the banks are all on board now. Now you got the Democrats saying that the only reason that the Republicans want the Clarity Act passed is because Trump's going to make a fortune once it does.
Watch this. Okay. Watch this this video here with Donald Trump, because again, when we talk about the banking system, there needed to be changes made into the banking system, just how fast the ACH clears checks and everything. I mean, it is, for where we are, it's painfully slow if you think about it, you know. But here, watch Donald Trump talk about how the XRP and the technology, which is part of
the
it,
video
with this. Okay, hold on, please. With this video here, it just shows so much about the technology behind the coins. Okay, here we go.
They're unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology. Who would have thought we would have been saying that?
Yeah.
All right. You see how it's all connected with all the research with the quantum computers, how they're using blockchains to defend everything. But it's all mixed up into this because the quantum financial system or whatever is saying like these computers are in satellites. I don't even know what it is. And it's protecting the money. And it's just like that we're switching over to this other money.
Right.
And
No, we're still going to have, we still have our money. We still have our money, and it's just going to be utilized in a very different way that's more beneficial to the consumers.
All right. All right.
Hey, did you see today that NVIDIA, in conjunction with some company that's making supercomputers, right, quantum computers, donated one to the Navy?
Right, because again, here we go. You know, when you hear this thing where it's all anti,
that was today's news.
Yeah, all anti-AI, right? Data centers are bad, AI is bad, everything else is bad. Just ask yourself, please, and this is where the rubber meets the road with this. If we listen to them say, "Oh, data centers, they're bad, get them out of here." Yes, AI is bad, get it out of there. If we did do that, who benefits from it? Do we as a country, do we get stronger or weaker?
Weaker.
Right. Okay. So in the dispatch today, we talked about this. United States and China reportedly set to have AI talks in September because it is I don't even know how you want to explain it, a battle for AI supremacy because it's also used in the military.
Yeah.
So all of these things come into play.
Well, what the Chinese are doing, is ripping off our large language models and our agents and so on, our AI agents and whatnot, to the level rather that you can actually see the watermarks. Like you have the watermarks from ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever on the Chinese product. And then they're dumping this cheap AI onto the market. And it's basically what the Chinese always do. They did it with steel. They'll do it with cars, right? They did it with Gene. You got cheap jeans all over X and all over Facebook. There's all sorts of cheap jeans. TikTok.
You wouldn't believe like when people like, and that's part of the reason why, I mean, Jeannie's here from TikTok. That's one of the reasons why I started going live. It's like, okay, I gotta put myself really out there. Okay, Dave, check out this battle, and this one this video I picked because I'm not sure if this is really true here with the so-called how advanced China is doing with AI.
Yeah,
I'll let you weigh in.
Last week, according to independent benchmarks, it is almost on par with Anthropic's and OpenAI's best versions out there. It is also the world's largest open weight model. Did see a lot of demand. The company saying over the weekend that they are pausing subscriptions. That goes back to the compute conversation. CEOs I'm talking to, though, really are framing this new generation out of China as a capability shock. The takeaway has been it is no longer a given that the U.S. frontier labs have a safe lead in AI. It is starting to show up in some of the data. OpenRouter, for example, showing Chinese models overtook U.S. usage last week. If you measure that by token usage, this could be a lot of experimenting out there, Kelly, but we'll see where that does net out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you didn't watch, but did anyone out there, did anyone in the audience happen to see Maria Bartiromo's show this morning? Because she had on Secretary Bessent, who was addressing this very thing and saying that that one of the topics that President Trump is going to address with Xi is our intellectual property, and that he can't be stealing our AI and then putting their company name on it, whatever the company might be, and then selling it back on the market. Not even to be as careful to take the watermarks off of the screens. I mean, and then you got CNBC there reporting it like, oh, the Chinese AI, they're gaining on us. Well, yeah, they're copying what we're doing in the United States, slapping "Made in China" on it, and then shipping it back to us.
This reminds me of like copying homework and stuff like that. I think I just busted myself. Like in school where you're like looking at, hey, I'm the Chinese kid. Everyone was looking at me when I was doing the test.
Yeah, it's like it's like the fake Rolex. Flooding the market with fake Rolexes. So you need like 40-year experienced jewelers to tell the difference.
Yeah, well, it's okay. So going along with this, Doc, guys, you're right. That's true.
That's right. That'd be Jeannie.
All right.
Stella says, how do educators teach AI without data centers to support them? It's not in many schools. It's a real part. You're right, Stella. You're 1,000% right. But things are going to change. Things are going to change.
And here, guys. So like I said, it doesn't suck. It's good. But like, do you realize that we're like trying to
tug on your hair like Trump did?
I have a picture of that.
They think you're wearing extensions or something. Pull harder.
The plugs are too expensive. No.
All right. Let's get back.
This looks very Farrah Fawcett today. It's good. Okay. These are my TikTok friends. It's all TikTok jokes.
Is this what you're telling them on TikTok, that you look like Farrah Fawcett?
We got some serious information here. And then
That's some serious Mandela effect right there.
All right.
You think Gene looks like Farrah Fawcett look? Moly mackerel. All right.
Now, here's the thing with this AI stuff. Again, if you are listening to all the chatter out there, just honestly ask yourself, who's putting it out there? Like who is the one that would benefit from that? And when it comes to this AI, like I'm like, it just sucks, it really does, because there's this whole massive thing. Oh, AI is so bad. All right, let's just get rid of all of them. Screw it. Let's just forget about it. Do you realize?
All right. Do you know what this is like?
Please.
This is like back in the 90s when businesses started to have their own websites, right?
Right.
Now, today, it is unimaginable that any business would not have a website. Right? It's the same thing with AI. Every business is going to have an AI agent and have artificial intelligence baked into what they're doing.
There's two realms of it, okay? There's one where we personally can benefit from it, right? But the other realm, and really the big picture of it, is that AI is now used in the military. The new jet fighter. You used to remember Tom Cruise. They had the F-14. The one coming out next year, the F-47, based out of Trump, flies with, like, instead of Goose as its wingman, there's like 7 AI fighter jets, drones next to him. And this is what it is. And so all of this needs data centers, needs power. It's about medical. All right, Dave, can I play this? I believe.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first commercial. I want to play this one first. It's right here.
Everyone is talking about AI. Nobody's explaining it to you. Ageless Tech changes that. Plain English, no jargon. What AI really is, how to use it at work, at home, and in your business, and how to stay private and safe. 7 chapters, 1 evening, and you are not on the outside anymore. Ageless Tech Volume 1, only at georgemagazine.com.
Yeah.
So there you have it. And like
Yeah,
that
that was yesterday's little cut, and Gene's all fouled up today. It's been a wacky day here at George, so I excuse him for this. But I just gave him 4 new little videos, and he plays the one from a week ago.
From how long? What time did I get that? 4:01. I have the timestamp. I have the AI timestamp. All right. Let's.
Do you have that? Do you have any stories from the actual dispatch from today?
They're all stories. The China one's a story, right? That's the story.
Is that in today's dispatch?
Yeah, it is from today's dispatch.
Okay.
This is the other one. This one's
here we go.
Okay. Going along with this story here. All right. First of all, so you guys know the play from the left, the anti-Israel lobby.
Right, hold on. We're gonna talk about the Jew hate from the left here in a second, but Anne's very good. She writes, "Are data centers bad? People are up in arms against the speed and close proximity to housing, how much noise they make, and the amount of water they need for cooling. All of those items, Anne, are being addressed, especially the water for cooling. They're moving from copper wiring to optic fiber, so data will be transmitted over the light that's in the fiber, which needs no cooling. So there's going to be a lot less water used. But the thing that nobody's talking about is the enormous amount of high-paying jobs that will come along with data centers into everybody's town. No one's discussing this. And these aren't like cheap seat jobs. These aren't like, like $5 an hour or $20 an hour jobs. These are 6-figure jobs. And they're going to need plenty of electricians and plumbers and the people that lay the wires you name it.
No, so it's well, first of all, good comment on that. Listen, we've seen videos before.
Brad's very worried about this. Now, Brad, you seem to have your mind set about too much monitoring of your activities. Anything you want to tell us there, buddy?
Hey, okay, and I will say this.
Brad.
It goes to this too. With the AI, like everyone is so upset about this Palantir stuff, right? You understand, like Gotham and everything. These are necessary to keep our country safe. All right. Let's talk about this.
Now you do realize Brad probably has set up about 15 Ring cameras set around his house that he uses, Ring's AWS account to monitor the video around his house. He won't tell you that though.
All right. Here's going along with that. What AOC was talking about here with this is this whole thing with a bill that makes it so that there's some shared technology between Israel and the United States of America. Now, once again, we're talking about people twisting the truth, because when the propaganda behind that is, oh my goodness, so now we have a joint military, we share the same military, that my soldiers are being commanded by Israeli generals. And see, that makes people upset. It really does. But that's not what it is. It really isn't. What it is a sharing of certain technologies. For example, we in the United States are going to get the Golden Dome. It was based out of their stuff because they invented, or they have the technology with the Iron Dome. So there's some shared stuff there, and it goes back and forth. Anyway, I have Rubio's.
Yeah, show Rubio's thing, and then we'll talk about the Jew hate from the left.
Okay, here we go.
Because it's not new. On air defense, for example, we've long cooperated with the Israelis. Look, if we have a breakthrough in our system or they have a breakthrough in theirs, could share that in a way to improve our own systems as well. So if they've come up with some novel way of defeating drones, for example, of course we would want to have that and benefit from it. By the way, they're not the only country in the world that we would do that with. We do that with other countries as well. So I think that's the provision you're referring to, and that's something we're already doing. I mean, that's something that already exists. But I don't think there's any, that's different from sovereignty. I mean, it's not like U.S. forces are going to come under the command and control of a foreign general or anything of that nature.
When Ukraine was asking for Iron Dome, the United States and some lawmakers, including Lindsey Graham, wanted the U.S. to send Iron Dome battery that was in the East Coast. Netanyahu vetoed that. That was the co-production.
But anytime you enter into co-production, we have those restrictions too.
Okay, so does everybody clear on this? We have technology. Let's say we have a new fighter jet, and Israel buys the new fighter jet. They then take the new fighter jet, go over it, modify it to make it better, send it back to Grumman or Lockheed or whoever is making it. They look it over, they make the improvements, and now both the United States and Israel have the better fighter jets. That's what's happening.
Right. And what it does, but what it is, it's used for propaganda, because it's like, okay, the Jews are taking over. Trump is getting like orders from Netanyahu and the Jews.
Yeah.
You realize that this is propaganda. It's not the case.
Right.
Rubio was even saying that we do this with other countries. Ukraine, don't we want their drones broke into Russia?
Yeah.
Don't we want that technology?
Yep.
Right.
Drone warfare is the new playing field. That's the new playing field. But I wanted to point out that now that Sandy Cortez has put her head out there on the chopping block, as far as exposing this Jew hate, we know that all of this originates on the left, but then is amplified by the MAGA influencer network on X and Rumble. So that's who you're listening to. When you're listening to all of these people talk about Israel's bad, Zionism's bad, the Jews are no good, the Jews run everything, the Jews are going to look at you in your underwear from outer space, all of that craziness originates on the left and then gets amplified by the MAGA influencer network that's on X and Rumble. So that's the
guys, like it or not, we have allies, and they are one of the allies that we have, especially in that region. All right.
What's all the hate on the? You know, when we wanted to go into Iran to take out their nuclear program, who was with us? It wasn't Oman. It wasn't the UAE.
Right.
Certainly wasn't Syria or any of these other nations.
Oh.
There's Israel.
So
right,
if you are a propagandist from another country and you can stoke so much hate for our enemy, then we're like, oh, like we only want to elect politicians that hate Jews. Yeah. And then we do this, and then we're separating ourselves, and then we don't help them and they don't help us. But right now, they are the ally. All right. Oh, right. Really quick with that, it goes back to what Trump said. He goes, I thought we were allies with NATO. I thought NATO was going to come help us, even though there's rules. I thought they were going to come help us. They didn't help us. Yeah.
What we found out, though, is like the UK only has like one aircraft carrier and like one or two battleships left. These people, this Europe has let their defenses just, I don't know what they did. After World War II, they did nothing. They didn't build anything. They didn't build out any kind of defenses. They just relied on the United States. And that's why they all dislike Trump, because Trump came in and said, you know, like, what the hell are you guys doing? Yeah. And exposed them.
All right. Let's do this. We are up to the devotional part.
Yeah.
Very good, by the way. And like I said, I got a chance to look at this morning. Just a reminder with this that we do play one every day we do the show. And also you can watch them from our website. Okay. Dave, you ready for today's devotional? This is the one you did.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
At the exact moment of Christian conversion, there is a specific expectation, a clean slate, and the promise that a person becomes a completely new creation, separate from their past. But an immediate contradiction usually follows. The new believer quickly realizes they are still plagued by the same urges to do wrong they had before. History is full of believers reacting to this friction by designing elaborate religious schemes or joining intense movements, all in an attempt to forcefully eradicate this persistent dark side. These attempts at achieving sinless perfection result in self-deception. The idea that the sinful nature can be fully removed in this life contradicts both the text of Scripture and universal human experience. Because the impulse to sin cannot be erased in this lifetime, the Christian experience is defined by how one fights on the battlefield, rather than how one escapes it. Human beings begin with an inherited nature, a baseline condition of flaw and sin that is acquired at birth and remains for a lifetime. At salvation, a divine nature is imparted alongside the old one. They exist together. These two forces, the flesh and the spirit, occupy the same space in violent opposition. The outcome depends on which receives the most input. The one you feed gains dominance. This shifts the believer from being a passive victim of their desires to an active commander who dictates which internal force wins the daily skirmish. To manage this, the Apostle Paul identified a distinction between sin dwelling in a person and sin reigning over them. Dwelling is an inescapable reality of being alive. The old nature remains a resident in the body, a persistent neighbor that never moves out. Reigning, however, implies executive control. While the old nature lives there, allowing it to sit on the throne and dictate your actions is a choice that can be prevented. Prevention requires a tactical shift. Instead of fighting the old nature with sheer willpower, the believer yields their mind to the new divine nature, moment by moment. Victory is not the total absence of sinful thoughts, but the refusal to give those thoughts the authority to command your actions. Consistently yielding to the new nature produces what Scripture calls fruit, visible traits like peace, gentleness, and joy that displace the older, darker impulses. Even so, stumbles are inevitable. Falling into sin during a moment of weakness is a serious failure, but it does not result in the loss of salvation. In those moments, the believer has an advocate in Jesus Christ. He functions as a defense and provides a way of escape during the most intense temptations. Grace acts as a permanent safety net, ensuring that lost battles in the flesh do not decide the final outcome of the war. This internal struggle is anchored to a historical event. The authority of the old man was permanently shattered at Calvary. To operate in this new power, a person must reckon themselves as legally dead to the old nature's demands. Its right to rule has been revoked. The strength for this fight comes from believing the gospel, that Christ died for our sins, was buried, and rose again on the third day. Victory over these warring natures is accessible today by actively believing this truth. The time to act is now.
We have two natures living within us. You have two natures living within you, warring. And it's the one that you feed that will win in the end. So just rest on that.
Awesome. Well, excellent. And I just want to remind everyone again that if you miss any of these, you could go to georgemagazine.com. Just go to the topics section, go down to the Daily Dispatch updates, and you'll see them all there. You can read some of the other ones. But get the George Daily Devotion there. And that's where you'll find it. Okay.
Now, one more thing. Brad and Donald are in here saying that we've been lied to about everything. Everything is a lie. Nobody has the truth and so forth. Now, you realize that when you make a statement like that, you're implying that the Bible is false too, right?
Well,
so if you have zero foundation of anything and you don't believe anything, then you have opened yourself up to believe whatever some random person says. You
No,
realize?
I mean, because I hear. Listen, I'm going to just say it. I hear it all the time. I heard it from people from Bob Joyce's church. You want to go there, okay? Because some of these people I met at the church, it's widespread. I'm not saying he's preaching it. This is Bob, but a lot of this, it's all in there. Jesus is really in your chakra. He's really in your spine. You got to go up there in your spine to go up to heaven. You can't really trust the Bible. You can like a little bit of it, but you don't know because the Rothschilds made it. So just so you know, it's way out there.
No,
And
hold on a second, Gene. Not to cut you off, but did Satan? Let me say, did the serpent tell Eve in the garden that the Rothschilds wrote God's word? Is that what he said to Eve? Because he's been selling that you cannot trust God's word from the very beginning.
I mean, that's a good point here. You know, but like, here's the thing with it. It excuses everything. If you don't have the Bible as your center of, okay, you know what, regardless of it, if God put it there, and by the way, I read like 5 different translations, not 10, because I'll go to Bible Hub and like, oh, wait a minute, let me make sure it says this, what does it say, and all this stuff. And I do read the King James Version primarily, but there's other ones you can check what it says. But all I'm saying is, Dave, if you have this thing that Jesus is not really Jesus, then why even bother? Why even bother doing this? I'm just saying. And guys, I hear it all the time. This is all the Bible devotions I do. You know what? The only thing I know at the end of the day is to base it on the Bible. That's it. When I do mine, I put a scripture there, and then I apply it to the days, and then that's what I do. That's it. And I think that I will be rewarded with that. I already have been. But to just basically dismiss it, then why bother doing anything, really? All right. See, you know what? Go really quick, Dave. It goes to tomorrow's devotional. Really, tomorrow's devotion. I already made it. Dave knows it because it was already done. The devotional is this. Now you hate me too. That's what Paul was saying, because Paul had to say stuff from the Bible, and it wasn't the nicest things in the Bible. But he says, the Lord said this, and this is what the Lord said, so I'm going to say the same thing. And they hated him for it. And that's why, I'm going to say this, it takes everything from me, because I'm so sick and tired of this. I didn't get into this. I got into this to be liked by people. And suddenly I'm hated by people, because I tell them, hey, you know what, if you invest in this stupid coin here or whatever, then you're going to be rich one day, millionaire. When there's a switch over, you're going to get rich. And I say, you know what? You can believe that if you want, but that's not what the Clarity Act says. And so people hate me for that. Everyone hates me for whatever reason. And I'm sick of it, but it is what I do. It's the lot I had in life. And I love it. But I'm going to tell you, man, I am sick of it, because it's tomorrow's devotional. You hate me now too? What, because I tell you the truth? It's like a child hating the dad because he's like, you know what, you're a little bit older now. People are going to make fun of you. There's no Santa Claus. Really? All right. Sorry, I just got off on it.
And if anybody wants to read the most difficult book in the Bible, you want the secret to life? The book of Proverbs is like the manual to life. There it is. You want it. You want blessings in life as a believer. Do what's in the book of Proverbs. You'll be all right.
All right.
But that takes work. That's hard. That's not like you stumbling onto some random person telling you that the gospel of Billy has the real truth in it.
Yeah, here's the other one, Dave, with this, and we talked about this. This was in the dispatch here, where nowadays nothing can be just so simple. Nothing could just be like, hey, believe in Jesus Christ and you'll have everlasting life. It can't be that simple. Like nothing, everything here has to be like, I won't say a grand conspiracy, but it has to be an explanation, because we're so wonderful and smart, we can figure out everything. I'm telling you, it's just like after a while, it's just like And
yes, Mint Julep had a good comment here. She said, The world is all messed up and many are confused and hurting. Stop getting so defensive, Gene. We all get blasted by our friends and family. Well, the difference is when your friends and family turn on you because you are regurgitating like misinformation you may have picked up from a Rumble podcaster, and they're like, but that's not real and so on. But it's the reverse. So like if you are trying to say, hey, but this is the truth, let me show you, it's all right here, it's factual, you can look it up anywhere, everybody realizes this, and the other person is just hating on you because you won't believe them.
Yeah, I mean, I get it and I understand it. Like when it comes to this, I don't know what we're doing, talking about politics and everything like that. I understand it. It's just like, guys, you have to remember, I was thrown into this. I did weddings where it was everyone's best day of their whole life, and they depended upon me to take pictures of them. So on the wedding day, I was like everyone's best friend. I was like liked because I was there making their best day, recording it. And I go from that to, quite frankly, where MAGA defended me, to being Trump's photographer. And then everyone else hated me, right? And then now I start doing this, everyone loves me and everything. But now I was like, okay, with this George magazine, it's my obligation to tell people the truth. Really. And I didn't know it was going to be that hard.
Now,
because
you just said you were thrown into it. Now imagine how I feel.
Right.
I feel like I was shanghaied, like in an old Abbott and Costello movie.
Guys, I'm not like Shanghai. Where's my gong?
No, but it's fine. And
I know I'm not. I know I bitch sometimes. I really do.
Marching ahead like the Spartans.
Dave, which we got a couple of stories. You know, you want to talk about?
Right. Wait, hold on a second. Lynn said it right. Thick skin. That's right. Like a rhino, thick-skinned and always charging.
Now I know where that's from, Dave. Really, Dave. We got a few more minutes here. Will you want to talk about Save America Act, or do you want to talk about the social media in France? Your choice. Or we can do about both, but we're running out of time here.
I didn't hear what you said. You said it so fast. Go ahead. Say that again.
What, am I speaking English?
What?
All right, I'll just do the stories. All right, we have this story, Dave. France becomes the first EU nation to ban social media for children under 15. Dave, cool move, fool move. Your thought here.
I don't know how they're going to do that. Because these children today are growing up with these items. You know, it would be like the way we grew up with bicycles, right?
Yeah.
You had a bike when you were a kid. All right, so we had bikes, and that's how we got around. Well, that's like having grandparents who never had bicycles and had to walk everywhere, telling us to give up our bikes. Now you got to give up those bikes and you got to walk more, like we did 75 years ago. You got to walk everywhere. You can't be riding those bikes.
I think it's a responsibility of the parents anyway, isn't it?
That's immaterial. The bottom line is that this generation is growing up with that. So I don't know what are they going to do? They're going to, these kids are going to have workarounds. All they got to do is hop on a VPN and they're outside of France's control.
I don't know.
I mean,
what are you teaching
kind of
children how to get around it?
Yeah. And then I don't have to tell them anything. Listen, 12-year-olds are doing this and they're far smarter than all of us.
All right. Let's talk about this one, Dave.
This sounds like, hold on a second, before we get to Fetterman, this sounds like just another political stunt.
So they could say,
look what we did.
Right.
We told them no more social media or using their phones or whatever in the world.
Okay. All right. Here's my
Hold
favorite
on a
Democrat
second.
here.
Brad, I love you, but you ain't never going to get that money, because there is no millions waiting for you. That's not happening. Stop telling people that that's all part of that QFS nonsense, that there was going to be a reset of wealth, right? And that's what brought people in. They were, a reset. You mean they're going to give me? Oh, I can't wait for that to happen. No one's going to send you a bag of money. It's not happening. I don't know how else to say it. You can disagree, and you could whatever. But we love you people, but we're trying to tell you that that's not going to happen. A lot of other good things are going to happen, but nobody's sending you a lump sum check for millions of dollars. Let the sovereign wealth fund take into account. Let the children start to invest under the Trump accounts and so on. That's where the future is. A lot of it coming in. Do you know how much Intel has gone up since the United States invested in it? It's gone up like 300%. It's a 300 gene or something like 300 or 400% Intel alone. That's all going into the sovereign wealth fund. Anyway, I'll get off the soapbox. Go ahead.
All right. My favorite senator, Democrat senator here. What do you think, Dave? You think he's going to switch sides here? He almost votes like a Republican.
He's being lured. He's playing the game.
Okay, just so you guys know, it's not just as simple as switching over and say, hey, by the way, I'm switching whatever. When he is a senator, as soon as he switches over, he gets into chairmanships if the Republicans hold the House.
Yeah, but also he has to remember he was elected by Democrats.
Well, I mean, hey, it depends on what it is. He's already
who he ran against.
No, I don't remember.
He ran against Dr. Oz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, the thing is, senators is a little bit different. When's his term up? Because it's like 6 years, right?
Yeah, well, it's not 6 years from now.
All right. I know he's been there, 2? So he's got 4 more. Right? Whatever.
Yeah, he was elected in 2024. But yeah, that's right. He's been in there for 2, so he's got 4 more years. So yeah, I guess he can make the switch. But I think he needs the proposals in writing now. He's not going to just take Thune's word for it.
All right, Dave. Anything else you want to say before we let everyone go here? Oh, you know what? Can I do this? Guys, you don't mind me do this because it's brand new. Here we go.
Crypto doesn't have to feel confusing. Introducing the complete crypto playbook from George. Wallets, security, DeFi, stablecoins, and XRP, all in plain English. Built for beginners, a downloadable guide, plus ongoing market updates twice a month. Go from curious to confident. The Crypto Playbook. Get your copy at georgemagazine.com.
Okay.
Hold on a second, Brad, tell me who 13818 applies to. Who does that apply to in that executive order? Who does it apply to? That's all. And who stole what from who? There you go. You're saying I'm dodging questions. You know I'm not. You know I never dodge anything. So who stole what from who?
All right.
And that's not something bad to be counting on. However, I'm telling you, call your senators and get this Clarity Act through.
Yeah, it's not a shoo-in. When I say it's not a shoo-in, it's like they're really fighting it. And when I say they, I'll tell you who it is: the bankers, J.P. Morgan and their gang.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you more often. These things we do here.
All right, Dave. Anything else?
Hold on a second. So everyone in government involved in human rights abuses, bankers, politicians, they all stole from you? Do you have them on film? I mean, you can't. You see, this is the problem with between the court of public opinion and actual legality. In the court of public opinion, you say whatever you want. You make blanket statements, broad strokes, or whatever. But when it comes down to legality, like, what are you actually saying? I mean, no one likes to pay taxes. My goodness. Right? I mean, I'm just people that are griping because of maybe how little Social Security they get. Okay? I paid in for all these years and so, but if they were an independent business owner who worked diligently to take every possible deduction and make their own payment into FICA as low as possible for all the years they worked, then they go to retire and realize that Social Security isn't going to cut it. So, you know, I know plenty of people that were in business. They had high-paying jobs, paid a lot of money into FICA, and they're getting a boatload now. So it all depends on what you paid in. I know that's harsh talk, but it's real talk. All right.
All right. Let's see. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. So, Lord willing, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Anything else, Dave?
Yep. No. We love you all. Look, you got excuses. We're trying to get out as much information as possible in as short a time as possible, because things are happening, and we want to make sure that our audience is on the cusp of all of the information that's available.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Truthful information.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you, Lord willing, tomorrow. Thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to go to georgemagazine.com and sign up for the Dispatch. It's free. Get the emails and the news stories. And check us out Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you then.